We were devastated when Pixar told us there would be no more Toy Story after the third movie, but they have just announced the release of Toy Story 4. Stay tuned for all the juicy details about the fourth Toy Story movie. If you can't get enough Pixar in your life, be sure to subscribe. Now let's get to everything we know about the new Toy Story 4 movie. Release date. The last Toy Story movie was released in 2010, and it was such an awesome movie. Pixar told us that the franchise was over now that Andy was headed off to college, which was sad AF, but they did leave it sort of open by giving all our favorite toys to Bonnie.
Now, you gotta promise to take good care of these guys. They mean a lot to me.
We'd be lying if we said we didn't cry at the end of that movie. The fourth movie was actually announced in 2015 at the D23 Expo, and since then, we haven't heard much about Toy Story 4. Well, they finally announced the release date, and it's not that far away. Times have changed since the last movie was released, so of course, Pixar director Josh Cooley made the release date announcement on Instagram. That's where all the important stuff happens now. On April 8th, 2018, he posted a photo of a giant red and yellow number 4 made of post-it notes. The caption was just the release date, June 21st, 2019. We absolutely cannot wait for the new movie. We sure hope June 21st hurries up and gets here. We have been looking for every detail we can about Buzz, Woody, and the gang. And we will definitely keep an eye on Josh Cooley's Instagram for more behind-the-scenes info. It was never supposed to happen. You may remember how in Toy Story 3, all the toys were sad that Andy never played with them anymore. But Andy had grown up and was about to head off to college.
I'm calling it, guys. We're closing up shop.
What?
Whoa. Andy's going to college any day now. That was our last shot.
His mom first gave the toys to a daycare, and then the toys were subjected to a reign of terror by a purple teddy bear named Lotso. They found their way home, and Andy gave the toys to a little girl named Bonnie. The storyline from the first two movies was wrapped up perfectly, and creator John Lasseter agreed. In 2013, rumors began circulating that a fourth movie was in the works. It started after a radio exec from Columbia tweeted saying that the movie was slated to be released in 2015, but Disney denied these rumors, saying nothing official was in the works. The creators were really happy with the third movie, and they never wanted to make another one that didn't live up to the awesomeness of the first three. But then an idea struck and they couldn't stop thinking about it. They have assured fans that the new movie will be amazing. We wouldn't expect anything less from Disney and Pixar. Late release. Every year, Disney hosts a giant gathering with all the latest news called the D23 Expo. This is where new projects are announced and current projects give updates. It's a huge deal, and it sounds like it would be so cool to attend. In 2015, a huge bombshell was dropped to the attendees of D23. There is a presentation about an upcoming fourth Toy Story movie. Then, songwriter Randy Newman performed the famous song, You've Got a Friend in Me. Dancers dressed as the characters and came out on stage. And then real-life green army men descended from the ceiling. Epic is an understatement, but the release date was announced as June 16, 2017. Then we heard pretty much nothing else for 2 years. Everyone sort of forgot about the whole thing until Josh Cooley announced the new release date back in April of 2018. Production is way behind, and there were some issues with the screenwriters. And it's not like Pixar hasn't been super busy since 2015. They've released 6 movies since then, including several sequels like Cars 3, Monsters University, Finding Dory, and Incredibles 2. It sure looks like June 21st, 2019 is the real release date. We hope it doesn't get pushed back even further. Pixar swapped it with Incredibles 2. It became pretty clear by 2016 that Toy Story was not going to be released the following year. Production was way behind, so they pushed the date to June 15, 2018. One Pixar sequel did get released on June 16, 2017. It was Cars 3, which was another huge hit starring everyone's favorite race car, Lightning McQueen. The production team fell behind pretty quickly on Toy Story 3, but another much-anticipated flick was ahead of schedule. In 2016, work on Incredibles 2 was moved moving steadily along. Pixar announced that they would swap the release dates of Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 3. Everyone was really excited about that since the first Incredibles movie was released a whole 14 years before the sequel, and that's just way too long for such an awesome movie. Speaking of first movie releases, did you know the original Toy Story movie came out in 1995? So by the time the new movie comes out, the Toy Story franchise will be 24 years old. That makes Andy well into his grown-up years. Maybe he will have kids of his own. Which other Pixar movie would you like to see have a sequel? The production team fell behind pretty quickly on Toy Story 4. Pixar announced that they would swap the release dates of Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4. Returning characters. One of the best parts of the Toy Story movies is the huge cast of amazing original characters. In the first movie, Woody is Andy's favorite toy until he gets the new Buzz Lightyear Spaceman toy. There's a ton of jealousy between the two, but they eventually become friends. In the first film, we get to meet Rex the dinosaur, Slinky Dog, Ham the piggy bank, Mr. Potato Head, and Woody's love interest, Bo Peep.
What do you say I get someone else to watch the sheep tonight?
Hell yeah.
Remember?
And people immediately fell in love with all of these toys. Toy Story 2 introduces several new characters when Woody is stolen by a retro toy collector. We get to meet Jessie, the yodeling cowgirl, and Woody's horse, Bullseye. Toy Story 3 introduces us to Barbie and Ken. We know that at least some of these characters are returning in the new movie. According to IMDb, Woody and Buzz will, of course, be back, along with Bo Peep, Jessie, Slinky Dog, and Barbie. And since John Ratzenberger, the voice of Ham, is the only person to voice a character in every Pixar film, it's safe to bet that Ham will return too. Unfortunately, the voice of Mr. Potato Head has passed away, but they had replaced the actor of Slinky Dog, so we still get the character. We are so excited to see which other characters are returning for Toy Story 4. Brand new character. Since every Toy Story movie has introduced awesome new characters, we are pumped to meet whatever new characters Toy Story 4 has in store for us. So far, only one new character has been announced. In 2015, actress Patricia Arquette was confirmed to be joining the cast of Toy Story 4. Patricia Arquette is a pretty famous actress. She starred on the TV shows Medium and CSI Cyber. She got really well known after starring as the mom in the movie Boyhood in 2013, but she's been acting since 1987. We know she will do an amazing job in Toy Story 4 with such an impressive resume. Arquette joins such film legends as Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Joan Cusack for the animated movie. We don't know her character's name yet, but we do know she is playing a hippie mother. What does that mean? Is she a toy hippie mother? Or is she joining Bonnie and Bonnie's mom as another human character? We have so many questions, Pixar. One thing is for sure, this cast is lit. There's no way a movie with this cast could be bad. Hurry up, June 2019. We cannot wait. Want to know more about the plot of the new movie? Keep watching to find out. Writer drama. There's been a lot of speculation about why the release of Toy Story 4 kept getting pushed back. At the same time, there's been a lot of drama with the writers and the script. It's pretty likely that these two things have a lot to do with each other. First of all, Annie Potts, who plays Bo Peep, has said that Pixar scrapped 3/4 of the original script and rewrote it. She said Pixar movies usually take 2 years from start to finish, but they get a lot more creative liberty than live-action movies. Then two of the original writers, Rashida Jones and Will McCormick, left the project in fall of 2017. They cited creative and philosophical differences, but there was a lot of speculation about their leave. Shortly after this, John Lasseter, the Pixar creative director, went on a 6-month leave after many women complained about his behavior. One article said that this is the reason Rashida Jones left, but denied that Lasseter was the cause of her departure. Now writer Stephanie Folsom has taken over writing the script. She's got a pretty impressive background, so we know this movie will be awesome. We sure hope all the drama at Pixar has died down and no one feels uncomfortable anymore. The gang's all there. A lot of familiar faces are returning to Toy Story 4, and it's more than just our favorite characters. John Lasseter is back from his 6-month leave, and he's still credited as the executive producer. And he is one of the 4 geniuses behind the original story of the new movie. Andrew Stanton is back as one of the writers. He has worked on all 4 Toy Story films. You may also recognize his name for Wall-E and Finding Nemo. Pete Docter, best known for Up and Inside Out, is also returning. He wrote for the first 2 Toy Story movies, but he did not write the third one. Lee Unkrich is the genius behind Pixar's Coco. He edited the first 2 Toy Story films and wrote for the third movie. Also returning is composer and songwriter Randy Newman. We sure hope he writes another great hit like You've Got a Friend in Me. With all of these familiar faces, we know Toy Story 4 will have the same great story, music, and animation that we love from the first 3. We already know that there is one new writer, and director Josh Cooley is new to the franchise. We bet these fresh faces add some new life to the story. Are you as excited as we are? Full circle. Toy Story was the very first Pixar film to be created.
Get away, you stupid dog! Down! Down!
It was a huge hit, and it was a huge deal because computer animation was such a new field. And it's a classic. Both sequels were a huge hit as well. Toy Story 3, which debuted 15 years after the original, brought in a whole new generation to love Woody, Buzz, and the gang. Now all these kids are growing up, and the awesome world of Toy Story is being passed on to another generation. Toy Story 4 is also going to be the last Pixar movie of the decade. There are 3 untitled Pixar movies in the works, but they are not slated to appear until 2020 and 2021. Toy Story started the Pixar journey and rounds out the decade too. How cool is that? We saw Andy's storyline come full circle in the third movie. Now we get to see what happens in the toy's new life with Bonnie. It's pretty amazing that even when it's been nearly 24 years, Toy Story is still so exciting. This movie will be a huge hit because the franchise has more than 20 years worth of loyal fans. What's the story? So what is the new movie about anyway? First, after the movie was announced in 2015, Disney teased us with a tiny tidbit. The new movie focuses on Woody and Bo Peep's love story. You may remember that Bo Peep was missing from Toy Story 3. She had been sold in a yard sale. Poor Woody. The new movie centers around getting Bo Peep back. And if we know Woody and the gang,
Lawn gnome next door says it's not in the yard, but he'll keep looking.
we have no doubt they will succeed in finding her. It's pretty creative because the first 3 movies centered around the toys' relationships with Andy. Now they live with Bonnie, and they are ready to be reunited with Bo Peep. Toy Story 4 is a standalone film, so you don't need to remember all the plot details from the first 3 movies. Who are we kidding? We'll be binge-watching these movies right before the new ones come out, and probably a few times before. Speaking of Bo Peep, John Lasseter said she and her story are inspired by his wife, Nancy. How adorable is that? Will you be watching the new Toy Story 4 movie? Let us know in the comments. And that's it for the scoop on Toy Story 4. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to keep up with all things Disney and Pixar. See you later!